first question I want to quickly cut across to India Today's Ashraf Vani, joining us live from Srinagar. Ashraf, bring us details of this Miss World pageant in Srinagar. What were the preparations? What all did the Miss World pageant do in Srinagar?
So basically, this is the history in the Jammu and Kashmir, particularly in the Kashmir Valley, when such a kind of a delegation, we can say, Miss 2023 visited Kashmir Valley. And that is not only the thing, but what was the response of these all the Miss World, the Miss America, Miss Asian Pacific, and Miss India. The experiences they shared with the media today afternoon was something tremendous, that how this message will go to help in the long run across the world for the tourism industry, which is the backbone of the Jammu and Kashmir economy here in the Kashmir Valley. This tour was organized by an NGO with the help of Jammu and Kashmir Tourism Department, which is boosting the tourism in the Jammu and Kashmir, particularly for last so many decades, but sincerely and most effectively since abrogation of Article 370. And the figures are in front. Not only the last year, but this year so far, in the first 8 months, the record number of tourists have already visited Kashmir. And particularly there was some kind of a pace in the international tourism after the successful G20 summit here in the Srinagar on tourism, because a message went throughout the world that Kashmir is safe for the tourists and its past glory is returning back. Once it was a time
what
when
a beautiful thing to say. Past glory is returning to Kashmir. I mean, we remember the number of films that were shot in Kashmir. Kashmir Ki Kali is something that so many people talk about, and so many films would be shot there. So many tourists from across the country and the world would go to Kashmir, except after the time that radical Islamist terror from across the border came and destroyed Kashmir. General Hasnain, you've seen the worst in Kashmir. You've seen the time when Charare Sharif was targeted. You've seen the times when mosque loudspeakers in Kashmir were used for Ralif Galif Zaya Salif, telling Kashmiri Hindus to leave. And now you're watching Miss World winners take a Shikara ride in Srinagar. Sir, explain for the benefit of our young viewers what these images mean for the former Corps Commander of Kashmir.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you. And firstly, let me compliment you on your award today. The wonderful award that has been given to you.
Thank you very
It's
much,
all been for this, reporting this, and over years. And I can assure you, I remember those days when invariably you invited me to your program to always discuss some tragedy in Kashmir, always some shootout somewhere, always a targeted killing of an individual or a set of individuals. For the last about 2 or 3 months, you have been invariably inviting me to talk of good things in Kashmir, the developments which are taking place there. We discussed G20 in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
We discussed the 8th of Muharram procession, which was a great symbolism too. And I'm so glad that I'm with you today on today's program to also look at this very important symbolic message of the presence of all the Miss Worlds there, the pageant there, and the Jammu and Kashmir Tourist Department having the courage and the imagination to bring all this together. This was not possible 4 years ago. And remember also, we lost out 2 years of the pandemic.
Yes.
If the 2 years of the pandemic had not been lost, perhaps Kashmir would have been somewhere else. And it is already progressing in that direction. And with the kind of tourist activities going on, I am very, very hopeful that we should be looking at a complete turnover with no possibility of return to those terrible days 30, 34 years ago, which you and I have witnessed.
Oh, absolutely, sir. Fingers crossed. And of course, all the hard work of our security forces and the people of Jammu and Kashmir and the rest of the country. Dr. Shama Junejo, massive contrast now, madam. Protests in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir for petrol, for gas, and this new dawn of peace in Jammu and Kashmir?
First of all, we call it that. Hi, Gaurav and everyone, and congratulations for your award.
Thank you, ma'am.
But first of all, I would say that it's the hero of this side is always known as terrorist from the other side. So, so you are saying that Pakistan occupied Kashmir. We call that Azad Kashmir. Even though I'm British, but this is how I see the things. Now you are demonstrating the soft power of India. It's lovely. Where I saw the images. However, the silver coating wouldn't hide the wounds in Kashmir or the human rights violations.
Ma'am,
So
those
if we are,
wounds came from
if we are, if
Pakistani terrorists. The
no,
wounds
no.
came from
Again,
terrorists
again,
like
I
Mast
again,
Gul.
I
You
said
may
that
think he's a
you
freedom
are calling
fighter.
them terrorists, and we
Madam, your
call
own
them
army
heroes.
calls him a terrorist.
They
Your
they are
army that
heroes.
trained him.
They are heroes, and even
Amazing.
Colonel Sher Ali, when he embraced martyrs, he was martyred. Even your one very high rank Indian officer put a chit in his pocket that he is
Ma'am,
a
I
hero and he
reported
should
that
be
story
given the
first.
highest
I
reward.
broke that
So
story, Dr. Shama
you
Junejo.
cannot
I am
hide
sorry. That
facts.
was an act of war by your country. That was invasion
No,
of our country by your country. But I am sorry. You
no,
may
it was
continue with your
you,
propaganda, but there are no takers for it.
Gaurav, you are saying that act of war. I would call that freedom fighting. They were
Amazing.
freedom fighters.
Ma'am,
So
you
they
don't
are
acknowledge your
freedom
freedom fighters.
fighters.
Ma'am, hear me out. You are saying they're freedom fighters. We buried, India buried 200 of your freedom fighters because General Musharraf lost his nerve and did not acknowledge 200 freedom
No,
fighters of
General
yours.
Musharraf.
I will
Look,
get
I'm
General
not going
Hasnain.
into not
No, no,
going
madam.
into
अरे
the
सच
not going
सुनिए,
into the
मैडम
direct,
सच सुनिए.
details
पाकिस्तान का
of
झूठ,
Kargil operation because it's
because you
all
cannot
history.
afford to. You will be, ma'am,
No, no, no,
your country was ruined because of
I
Kargil.
know.
Your
No,
country was
because I
ruined.
interviewed Musharraf. I interviewed Musharraf during my PhD, and I know the details of Kargil war, that how it happened, and how and the thing is this, that the only complex of that it was not started with the permission of the then government of Nawaz Sharif. So that is the lacuna, legal lacuna. However, you cannot like just outrun the whole process. And again, the other thing, that the lovely images you have shown here from Kashmir, I would only say that why they haven't gone to the public places, why they are like
मैडम
surrounded by
आपके दोज
escorts.
रेडिकल इस्लामिस्ट टेररिस्ट जिनको आप कवर फायर दे रही हैं उनका डर अभी भी है जनरल हसनैन.
अरे भाई, मैं कहाँ उनको कर रही हूँ, मैं तो
मैडम
खुद
आप उनको
रेडिकल
फ्रीडम फाइटर बोल
इस्लामिस्ट के
रही हैं.
खिलाफ होती हूँ
मैम
हमेशा.
आप हाफिज सईद को भी फ्रीडम फाइटर बोलेंगी. मैम आपके
मैं कभी
पढ़े
भी
लिखे और
हाफिज सईद
पीएचडी
को,
करने का
बिकॉज
फायदा क्या है? आपके पीएचडी करने का
हाफिज
फायदा
सईद
क्या
का
है?
जो यूएन
आपके और
का जो
हाफिज सईद की
स्टेटस
भाषा
है
में कोई अंतर ही
एंड
नहीं
जो
है.